Assalamu alaikum. Sulman Rahim here. Welcome. Critical Analytics. Sisters and brothers, today we're going to talk about the brightest light and give a very, very bright example. For the time of unprecedented trouble, 1 second here. One second here, brothers and sisters. Okay, that's better. For the time of unprecedented trouble, that means of intense darkness, as the Quran calls it, you would need the greatest light ever. The greatest light ever. That makes sense, doesn't it? And you have that. You need the greatest light ever, and you need the greatest prophet ever. That's why it said that he would not trust the time of unprecedented trouble to a prophet. He would send his son himself. That's how dark it would be. That's how problematic it would be. That's how intense and terrible it would be. That's what the scriptures say. Now, I'm not talking to you those dismiss the scriptures. That's just you. I'm talking to you. But we have this great light, and it's so great. And we're going to see about that in a minute, what it was talking about. But the angel, that is the most intense, complex, bright light ever the scientists ever put together. And they said no one. They fixed it so there would no one be able to open that book, break those seals, but one person. And that's proven true, because they've had this book for 2,000 years and they have not been able to touch it. I mean, they haven't been able to get one verse right. Think about that. There's no one, those of you who are learning the angel can see clearly that and reviewing what everyone has been saying, that no one has even got one verse right. Not even a verse. They're all guessing, all wrong. See? We're not taking anything from Elijah Muhammad. He didn't break the seals. He spoke. He was told to use whatever you have to get his job done. So we're not taking anything from him. But he didn't get it right either. For instance, if you go back and look at his teachings, chapter 20, he thought that was yet future. He said chapter 20 man would take 1,000 years for us to build a kingdom. He thought that was yet future. Yeah, that's definitely past. So it's things like that. So anyone that commented on the angel before now had no idea what they was talking about. And everyone got it wrong, and not even close. No one even came close to understanding what it is. So we're going to go in that. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and then we're going to give a very dramatic, sharp example, very vivid example. So, the brightest light. Now we see in Genesis that God made two lights. Now they don't understand it. See, they don't understand the sealed Bible or the unsealed Bible. So they think they're talking about the sun and the moon there. See, no, they're talking about the Quran and the AL-INJIL, the Bible. And it said he gave the greater light, which they think is the sun, he gave that to the day. We know the day represents Yaakov's creation, the white people, because it says first there was darkness. Out of the darkness came the light. See, so we're the darkness. Don't mean bad, it means we're the darkness, and out of the darkness came light. Yahweh made his creation out of us. And it says he gave the greater light to rule the day. So the greater light was given to them. That's the Bible. It was given to them. And the Quran was given to us. So they said, well, then we should be dealing with the Quran. See, that's where you misunderstand. Because it was given to them in a sealed form to be broken at the end, right? Because it tells you it's the greater light. It's greater than the Quran. You see? But it's sealed. They had it sealed. But even sealed is powerful because once it was mixed with in its sealed form, in other words, it had the Bible had 1,000. The sealed Bible had 1,000 years to rule. That's Adam. The Quran had 1,000 years to rule. It tells you that in chapter 20. But the Bible was broken into two phases because the Quran came in the middle. That's why it's called a mercy. It split the two 500 years of the Bible in two. The pre and the post. See? So, the sealed Bible had 500 years under the Pope, under Catholicism. That's why lessons tell us that Christianity, this Christianity we're familiar with now, is 500 years old. Because that Christianity we're familiar with now was mixed with mathematics, and that came after the 1,000 years of the Quran. But it was powerful enough to defeat the Quran because it's the greater light. Even in the sealed form, it's the greater light because it was able to defeat the Quran for 500 years. The Quran has not had a victory for 500 years, and the Europeans, Christians played with the Sunnis. They played with them. They played with the adherents to the Quran. Because the Quran was only 1,000 years, only had 1,000 years, and split the sealed Bible into two parts. Because Jesus said that would happen. See, he said the Holy Spirit will come after him, and 500 years did. That was Prophet Muhammad. He was like a mercy. So because they wouldn't have continuous 1,000 years. If they had a continuous 1,000 years, we would have been told. So he had to have a break. We couldn't have took them for 1,000 years straight. Imagine if we had to deal with them for another. Look what they did to us for 500 years. What if they had something they'd done for 1,000 years? So he had to have a break. See? And that 1,000 year break was the mercy that Prophet Muhammad provided. But then the sealed Bible was reignited, mixed with mathematics, and it was so powerful because the Islamic Empire has limits. It never extended to this side of the planet. It has limits. See, it would take the sealed Bible under Gog and Magog to accomplish the whole world. Which they did, which chapter 20 tells us to happen. So we need to understand that. So the sealed Bible itself is powerful. Because I tell you, it's really a bomb. It's a powerful bomb, but it was powerful enough to ignite the unsealed Bible. That's the way thermonuclear bombs work. If you study them, you have a fission bomb and you have a fusion bomb inside of the fission bomb. It takes the power of the fission bomb to ignite that fusion bomb. The same technology. Because it takes so much power. Right? And the only thing that can ignite a fusion bomb is a fission bomb. The only thing that could ignite it, the AL-INJIL, was this 500-year explosion of the sealed Bible mixed with mathematics. It forced us right here. It put us under intense pressure. No one went under more pressure than we did in the last 500 years. No one. We took the full blunt of that explosion of Gog and Magog. We took the full blunt of the explosion of Gog and Magog. Let me say it again. We took the full blunt of that explosion of Gog and Magog right here in the center. Right in the center. We took it all. And that pressure, right, turned us into diamonds, a transformation, and produced Suleiman, who would break the 7 seals. So that bright light would dispel all lights. So I want to understand. So I'm explain that, and I'm going to go in and give you an example, because I often talk about the sealed Bible and unsealed. I talk about both points of view. See? I try to be very careful with that because I don't want to confuse people. Because both of them are powerful. Both of them are powerful. Because once you have the key and you have to unlock the sealed Bible, right? And that ignites the unsealed Bible. Because as soon as he started open those keys, things start happening. The first one he sealed broke in 1990, and boom, the whole world changed. Because we under the shadow of 1990, that so-called Gulf War. So keep that in mind, brothers and sisters. So now in the sealed Bible, they give a very powerful prophecy, and that's in the sealed Bible. Let me see something right quick. Let's move things around a little bit. So, don't want to do that. Okay, so this way. That's the sealed Bible. See, that's a powerful prophecy, but it's in the sealed Bible, and it's sealed. But it's still they still understand it's still sealed. See? They don't understand it. If they did, because the world don't understand it, because they would be doing it now. See? So it's still sealed because they think it's referred to someone else. See? So once it's unsealed, you see how powerful that prophecy is. But it's right in the sealed Bible right there. And it's a very powerful prophecy right on the surface. It's a powerful prophecy. The problem is you got to line it up. See? Like you have a map. But you got to orientate the map. Otherwise, it's no good. You have to figure out which way is north, which way is south. Otherwise, you got the map in your hands, but now you got to figure out, orientate it. Which is north, what's south, what's east, what's west. So it's the Abrahamic covenant, which is the most powerful prophecy in the Bible. Because that's what it's all about. All what's going on right now for 50,000 years is about that prophecy. Everything is around that prophecy. That's the most central prophecy in the Bible. And it's right there in the sealed Bible. And in fact, it's in the so-called Old Testament and so-called New Testament. So they can't see it was abrogated. Because they try to say that, well, the covenant is abrogated and given to the Europeans because the Jews they broke their covenant with God. So now the covenant goes from them to the Europeans. Now they're spiritual seed of Abraham. I think some of you heard the story. So I don't need to read it. It's right there. But it talks about we be sojourners, right? See, they use the word sojourn there. Okay. The actual translation said sojourners, mean temporarily. See, they take that part out, right? But anyway, a lot of people like that part because it says sojourners, temporarily, right? Nor sure that seed shall be a stranger in the land. Not the demons. It's not Abraham's seed. They may have black face, but they're Abraham's seed. Remember the story about the seed, the chaff and the wheat? The wheat is the seed, chaff is not. It just resembles the wheat. Okay. That seed shall be a stranger in land that is not theirs, and shall serve them and afflict them 40 years. Also that nation whom they sell I will judge afterwards, to come out with great substance, to come out of this land. That's not what Farrakhan's telling you. See? The Christians don't have to tell you that because they don't think this applies to you at all. They just applies to false Israel. See? It said, in 4 generations come hither again. Hither means the place this promise was given, which is Arabia. Who's the 4th generation? After 400 years, that's us. We're the 4th generation. That means we're returning. It's right there. Okay. So understand that, because everything we talk about here is surrounding that prophecy. Okay, so the example I'm going to give here, now remember it said 400 years, so we got to understand from 1619 to 2019, when that's the official time our enslavement started. Even Elijah Muhammad said that. But now Lion Farrakhan is trying to change it. He's trying to claim that no, 1555 started when Elijah Muhammad clearly said 1555 to 1564 years prepare us for slavery. He said they put you in cages and took the children, all that kind of stuff. But now they're trying to lie, say, oh, well, no, slavery started 1555. See, because he's trying to cover the fact that he didn't, the master prophet didn't see COVID coming. So he just oh, I lied. And anybody understand this and know anything about what Elijah Muhammad taught and read any of the books, no, he's lying. Because Elijah Muhammad said 64 years was preparation. See? So he's just trying to cover his ass because he said, well, how come you didn't see that coming? I mean, and you took 7 months to figure it out? You should have saw that coming. Since you're the master prophet, you guided by Allah himself and all this BS you're talking about. But he said, I will bring one more plague on Egypt, on Pharaoh and on Egypt. After we let you go from here and we let you go, he will drive you out altogether. So that means this plague that he's going to give, this plague going to drive you out. See? They're going to drive you out because this particular plague. You see? But it talks about a plague about that's going to kill the firstborn right after the 400 years. That's the Sealed Bible version. And we still have right before our eyes. It said a plague that will kill the firstborn, it means the elderly, but a pass over you. We see it right before our eyes. That's the Sealed Bible version. This is the Unsealed Bible version. See? Both are powerful. This book is so powerful. Brothers and sisters, all you that's studying this are going to be prophets. You're prophets now. Because in a few more days, when all the lights go out, you're going to be the only lights. You're going to be the only lights. And you're going to be prophesizing. And they'll be listening to you. Because you're the only one going to know what's going on. You're the only one to be able to see through the darkness. Because they're going to be totally blind. As the Quran said, the light be so dark, they won't be able to see him before their face. That you're the one, you prophesy, you're the one the blind man's been holding on to trying to cross the street. Because he know you see. Because he ain't listen to other people. Because he realized that they're as blind as he is. See, the problem being blind is you don't know that a person next to you is blind until you see him stumbling, running or something. They say, oh, that fool, he's stumbling and rumbling too. So, you understand? So they blind, but when they start seeing Farrakhan and Silas and all these preachers and everything getting ready to stumble like they about to stumble, or they stumble on COVID-19. They stumbled big time. They ran into that brick wall at 20 miles, 221 miles per hour, 220 miles per hour, full speed, crash, bam, total wreck. See, all of them. None of them saw it. See, and now they're trying to recover. Oh, no, we didn't have no wreck. The car wasn't total, right? You see, we got it repaired. See, so they stumble in that one. And so they try to convince people, oh no, we can still see, we didn't stumble into that one, right? So they come up telling lies and everything else why they didn't see that. But they getting ready to run into a brick wall they ain't gonna be recovered from. They gonna run a brick wall they're not ready to recover from, and nobody's gonna listen to them after that. Nobody's gonna listen to them after that. Except only ones gonna listen to them after that is the ones, right, that's as blind as they are and deaf as they are, right? And they have no choice because nobody else gonna want them. Nobody else gonna lead them. Nobody's going to prophesy to them. See, because their lights can be turned off for them. See? Because we ain't going to prophesy to them. Said, do not give your jewels, right, to swine. No, you're not going to prophesy to you. So they're going to have to they know they leads to a person's mind. Oh, but they ain't got no joy. I mean, maybe they see something. I don't see nothing, so might as well go with it. So this is the one. See, he's talking about the plague. This one is coming out from the sealed version, unsealed, because we're going to use unsealed to explain this one. What happened here? Okay, so we're going to talk about this here. Now, see, we're going to drive you out altogether. See, okay. See this one. See, okay. Let me say this. See, one plague, it says it's going to kill the firstborn. That's what they're talking about in the sealed version. Going to kill the firstborn. This one also talking about kill the firstborn too. But it's talking about this one's going to drive it all together. So we're going to explain that. So let me just walk through this, right? So, and this, okay, let's go on. That's what it means here. See, those who are familiar with the angel understand what it's talking about here, because that plague, right, will drive. See, okay, I'm not going to go into all the, because you don't want to find scriptures and stuff. So let me go back here and see right here. Okay. It says in this prophecy, it says that the angel of death. See, that's the one that's going to afflict the firstborn with this plague. See, in this one, they're talking about this one that's going to kill the angel of death. And this one, and said, because he's going to be blood on the door. See, the blood of the lamb. See, like I said, I'm not going to go into all the. Those who've been studying angel, you're familiar with this talking about. Because that blood right there, that's because you see, elect God, that came from this. So that would be the blood of the lamb. So he's this. That means the fifth seal has fallen. Anyway, I don't want to lose the people that are not familiar with this all. But this is mostly directed to people that's familiar, right? So they'll understand and they'll break it down for you, okay? Because now they've learned enough, they can start breaking it down for you. See? Because I'm primarily teaching them and they're going to teach you. So they saw the blood there. Okay. So that means they're talking about the NOI there. See? So that's the angel of death. So it says it's going to get the firstborn. Who's the firstborn in this situation? The firstborn in this situation, right, is Britain, because that's the first one that came up out of the earth. That's the firstborn in this situation. Not talking about elderly. It's still elderly. He still be the elderly because he's the eldest. See, that's why both of them are beautiful, the sealed version and the unsealed version. But it gives you two perspectives of the same thing, right? But this particular one here is talking about when the war happens. See, that's where the distinction is. This one is when the war happens. The other one's talking about before the war happens. See, that's COVID that happened before the war happens. This one is when the war happens and they're thrown out. Because that's the one that's caused to be driven out altogether. See, because it said the Lord came. See, he's the one that's causing this. He's the one that's causing them. He's the one that sent angels of death to get them. That's why he has Suleiman there. See? And so he's going to get them, but he's not going to get you, the Nation of Islam in this case. That's after Farrakhan's, his people are kicked out. See? And at that point, right, that's when you're going to be driven out altogether. See? That's what this one's talking about. See? That's what this one's talking about. Hope you understand. That's why you see, as we're talking, driven out all together, all of you. See? That's the one that's about to happen. So it's talking about two plagues actually. The plague in the sense of COVID-19. We talked about that. That's when before the war, right? Right after the 400 years. See? Because it doesn't say, it says, I'll bring one more plague. That's another plague. One more plague. See, we got to read this very carefully. I'll bring one more plague. See, that was the other one, right? Pre-war. This one is the one post-war. Okay? And the elderly represents Brit, his covenant NOI, right? And then that's the plague, angel of death. That's why you see the death there, right? And says the Lord, right? He made that happen. That means Suleiman's making it happen. Why? Because he's the one that calls on the four winds. You see, brother, that's what it's talking about. He's the one that calls on the four winds. And that drives them all together. Okay? Let's go on, move on to the next one. This is not chronological order, brothers and sisters. I'm just giving you, right? So, just giving you, explain these verses because I'm trying to show you the connection between the sealed Bible and the unsealed Bible, how powerful it is, right? Because 90% of all this is talking about things that's about to happen during the war. Almost all of it is about what's happened once that war starts. Just leading up to the war and once it starts. All the other stuff, the 10%, was leading you up to give you confidence. So then you have confidence that when the 90% happen, because you see the 10%, that happens exactly like it's supposed to happen. So when 90% happen, you have confidence that it's going to be exactly like they said. So here it is. The Lord will pass over the land and strike down the Egyptians. That's talking about Suleiman, right? That's what's on there. But when he sees the blood on top of the sides of the doorframe, the Lord will pass over you. He will not permit his death angel to hit your house, strike you down. See? Now remember, he sees, says, we see, that's what we say, we see the death, right? We see the blood on top and side of the door frame, right? See? He will pass, the Lord will pass you. He will not permit death angels into your houses and strike you down. He won't let them, right, take out, see, because they're going to want to take out, this is the time when they're going to attack us, right? He ain't going to let them take out the Nation of Islam. See? But he's going to let China and China and North Korea strike them when it's talking, strike them down, because remember, that's death. They represent death. So death's going to strike them down, but it's not going to strike the Nation of Islam down. So I'm going into real detail with this, brother. I said, there's so much I can talk to you about. I'm really going in detail today. See? But now, because those you've been studying Israel, now you can feel this, you can start understanding this, right? The other ones, it's so complicated, but it's beautiful. See? So it says, because that they're getting ready to be struck, because when they attack, they're going to be struck down. They go on to war, they're going to be struck down. See? By Korea and China, but this one won't be struck down. See? That's why it says the first one will be killed, because in that position, that's the kill position. The top position of every nation is Islamic. The bottom is the kill position. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Now, here's another thing it talks about. See, now Lion Farrakhan, right? Let's see, is this still one so says? Okay, this we're gonna need to go this in supplement that action. Anyway, see, the verses make it clear that there was two phases of us being here. That's why Elijah Muhammad came revealed the first. They hid the first phase. That's why I said those hidden years, 64 years, right? There was a question. They hid it because that's the first phase of prophecy. Joseph coming, right? He be in prison, and his seed. Joseph was in prison. He was the one who came to Egypt. He's in prison. Then his seed was the one that was enslaved. He was thrown in prison too, but it was the seed that went through because Joseph came out of slavery. He helped them save their country. See, this gets into the knowledge they stole from us because they didn't know how to farm anything. That's why they came over here, because they had ruined the soil all over Europe, right? And Ireland had a blight; they couldn't grow anything. That's why they couldn't grow over here, a potato blight, because all they ate was potatoes over here, nothing would grow. And they destroyed their farm and everything because they didn't know how to do it. So they took that knowledge from us to 64 years they had us in prison. And we showed them all kinds of engineering, all kinds of things. They tell you the so-called Washington D.C. was built by black people. Anyway, that's another story. But the point is that they hid that. And Scripture said, no, Joseph came over here first, right? He helped them. He helped them save their, agriculturally, because they was in an agricultural stage. He showed them how to, because they didn't know how to do it. That's what it's saying. They didn't know how to handle the agricultural. They had the America. They didn't know how to handle the agricultural part of it. They was about to destroy it. And he told them how to do it. That's the whole story of Joseph. We showed them how to do it. See? And once they got that knowledge, they imprisoned our children. They went into this perpetual slavery for 400 years. So it was 2 phases. And they hid the first phase. See? So, in here, and this is making it clear, they took us. Pharaoh goes, slavery started in 1555. He's trying to excuse the fact that he missed COVID. But if that was the case, then that means in 1956, right, 1957, there should have been a plague, right? You see? So he don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's a liar. Like I say, he's stumbling all over the place. And we know he's stumbling. And everybody else going to know he's stumbling in a minute. So here it's talking about Joseph. It says he was 30 years old when he became vice general of Pharaoh. So that's where 30 years come from. So we're going to see why that matters. Why do we care if he was 30 years old or not? See? Why do we care? See? Okay. Let's go further. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, we're going to have to come back there because I got this out of order here. Hold that thought. So, well, maybe not. Let me go forward and then come back, because I want to get this. I want to find that. We'll talk about that. Did I miss that? I'm thinking I might have missed it already. Okay, here it is. The people of Israel had lived in Egypt 430 years. It says it was only supposed to be in 400 years. See? Elijah Muhammad said we've been here actually 464 years, which is correct. Remember, this sealed Bible. But what they're telling you here is they add the 400 years plus the 30 years of Joseph. That's where that 30 comes from. See, because they're trying to he's talking about 400 years. Well, the Bible said we're going to be here 430. That means we got 30 more years to go. See, because he's stupid. That's what I wanted to show. See, because that's why the 30 years of Joseph plus the 400 years. Because you got to put the two together. They try and just separate it. And they try and separate it. Well, slavery started in 1555. So they can't get rid of that lie. Then they said, according to this here, right, that means we're going to be in 400. If we came in 1416 and it started 1416 like he's saying, that means we got another 30 years to go. You see? Because that's what they're trying to say. Well, we're going to eventually be the inheritors of the country we were slaves in. That's the BS they're trying to pull over on you. See? Well, that's not true. And they got it backwards anyway, because Joseph was before this enslavement, not afterwards. So I thought I pointed out, since I had that in the wrong order here. So let's go back. to make that point. Okay, so here it is. At 30 years, they took because they fought 30 years of Joseph. See? And then the 40 years. So it's two periods, two sides. See? Not the crap they try to talk about. So it's sealed, brothers and sisters. So I'm trying to make it as clear as possible for you. Because you're going to be the light. You're going to be so bright. Those who study angel, you might not notice it now. But your light is going to be so bright in this darkness. It's going to light up this country for the righteous. But it's going to make it even darker for the wicked. Because our light is their darkness. So Pharaoh sent for Moses and Aaron during the night. Get out, he ordered. Leave my people and take the rest of the Israelites with you. See? Go and worship the Lord as you have requested. Take your flocks, herd, and as you said, be gone. Go, but bless me as you leave. They scared the hell, man. So please don't punish us. All the Egyptians urged the people of Israel to get out of the land as quickly as possible, for they thought we all will die. See, this gets back to getting out of here as fast as you can. You can't look back. Time of unprecedented trouble. See, it said great distress in the land. That's the way they're saying it here. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, just saying a different way. See, get out of here. See? Go quickly. As quick as possible. See? Because we're all going to die. See? That's what they're saying here. Okay? And that's it. Get out of here. See? But they don't talk about it from the point of view that they're actually trying to kill us. That's in there also. See? But they just give you the point across that this connects to when they say, when you see the abomination of desolation, right, flee quick, you ain't got no time. So this cuts into that. It's the same thing, talking about the same scenario. That's just the way they talk about it here. Okay. So look at this. The Israelites took their bread dough before yeast was added. They wrapped their kneading boards in their cloaks and carried them on their shoulders. And the people of Israel did as Moses had instructed. See, because we're the true Israel. They asked the Egyptians for clothing articles of silver and gold. See, I got it right there, the silver and gold. That's us leaving with the silver and the gold. The silver is the the Levites that's grabbed, that's adopted in, and the gold are the elect, right? And the Lord caused the Egyptians to look favorably on the Israelites, and they gave them the Israelites whatever they asked for. They gave them all of it. See, it's all gold. Get the hell out of here. So they stripped the Egyptians of their wealth. Now, what's the read between the lines here? We know these people ain't gonna let go of their wealth, but they worship their wealth. See. So you have to read between the lines here. They stripped them. See? If somebody stripped you of something, that's not like you gave it to them. They'll take it from you. That means you resist it. See, you got to read between the lines there. It sounds like, read it. It sounds like, oh man, they're happy to get rid of you. Happy to let, they're happy to let the gold and silver go. They're happy to let you go. They'd be stripped of you. That means they resist. They didn't really want you to go. They try to stop and try to get rid of you. See? You can't read between the lines, brothers and sisters. See? Because it sounds like, remember I said earlier, it sounds like, hey, they happy to let you go? No. They're going to try to kill us, get rid of us. Because they ain't letting no wealth go. You know these people. They ain't going to do that. See, not willingly, because if they let it go, there's nothing left. They know that, you know it. See? That night, the people of Israel left Ramses and started for Succoth. There were about 600,000 men. Now, that number is not the number of people leaving, but you got to concentrate on the 6, right? Because there's 6 parts of the woman. Well, not 6 parts, because two of the parts is elect, right? But 6 parts of that nation, right? And the God is the 7th part. That's what we're talking about. Because all of them. Remember, he said, drive it all together. See? Plus the women and children, right? Rabble of non-Israelites went with them. Who is the rabble of non-Israelites went with them? That's the demons. The rabble of non-Israelites. Because they're not really Israelites. They went with us, but they're not really Israelites. They're the demons. They went too. See? But where they go into? They go into, we all come together, because I said we come into a territory. We all be forced into a territory. Demons and the saints. All together. Because it says it's going to drive y'all all together. It's all black folks. It's going to drive all you out there all together, all the black folks. So here to tell you again, the rabble of non-Israelites, that's the demons, they went too. They're driven out too. For bread they baked flat cakes from dough without yeast they had brought from Egypt. It was made without yeast because, listen carefully, it was made without yeast because, listen carefully, the people were driven out of Egypt in such hurry they had no time to prepare bread or food. Go, don't look back. Go immediately, run to the mountains. That's the way of saying it here. They were driven out. So that sounds like, it says driven. That means you're under duress. You're driven. Why are we being driven? Why are you driven in haste? Because they're attacking us. They're attacking us. They don't have time to do anything. See? Just see, but we're driven. That same thing is get out. Get out. It's that same thing. You're attacking, that's driving. You're driving you out. You're driving you into that situation. So we read these things carefully, brothers and sisters. I see some of you are doing really good. Some of you saying things and you're seeing things. Well, it's not the way I would see it, but but it makes sense. So I don't say anything, right? Because I expect you to present it the way you see it. Just make sure it's right. You can back it up. We encourage that here. We want you to be. We want everybody. Like I say, Islam is like a tree. You got different branches. Every branch is different. And from branches come off branches. So there'll be a lot of branches come off you, right? That wouldn't come off another branch. So we encourage you, right? First, make sure you connect to the root and you connect to the trunk. Don't lose that connection. And after that, you're good to go. So, okay, we talked about that one already. Take the rest of Israel. Okay, during the night, get out. He ordered, leave my people. Take the rest of Israelites with you. See? Take them all. Go and worship the Lord. Okay, we talked about that. Okay, we talked about the 430 years we asked about. That troubled me for a while initially. I said 430, is that a contradiction in the guy said 40 years, then 430 years, what's going on here? Is it 40 years or 430 years? That was a while back, right? And 30 years, I start, brothers and sisters. And for a lower pasture land, strike down the just, but receives the blood at the top, side of the floor, Lord will pass over your home, and he will not permit the danger of death to enter your house or strike you down. We just talked about that. So in other words, this is, right? That's the China, is at war with China and North Korea. And it's going to strike them down. That's the goal. But it's not going, because remember, that's another his story. It's another little part in here. Because remember, who's got to go through the tribulation? Nation of Islam. When's the tribulation? That's when they're going to be attacked by the goat. And the goat is going to take the ram down. But the Nation of Islam going to escape. They're the ones that went through tribulation, but they was delivered out of it. That's another, see, that's right in there. See? North Korea, China's going to take out America, right? The ram. But the saints are going to go through tribulation, but they're going to get through it. See? So the angel of death is taken out, but it's not going to take them out. I said, when they get, they're going to have to dive all the way to the West Coast. When they get there, right, they're going to be allowed to pass. And they will close on Pharaoh's army. Isn't that what it says, Exodus? They was allowed to pass, but it closed on Pharaoh's army. See, I'm putting stuff together. I said, brothers and sisters, I'm trying to, I don't want to get too far out ahead of you, because then you get confused. So I'm telling this now because some of you are ready to hear it this way. But if you pay close attention, I'm not inconsistent in anything I've been saying. I've been telling you, this gets very, very complicated, very deep, right? But we're in it. So reason I'm talking about this particular thing right now, because this is jumping off. And you have to know this base, because this is what you're going to know. You need a fundamental understanding of what's going on to be the light. See? And this tells you exactly, explains exactly what's happening in greater detail. I'm showing how to look at it. Okay? Is that it? Okay, brothers and sisters, that's going to be it. Hope you understand. I said, it's the brightest light. It's the brightest light ever, brothers and sisters. I said that sometimes. I said, what's going on here? Because I didn't expect any of this. I mean, I had my dreams and visions growing up, right? And I knew something special about those dreams and visions, but I mean, I wasn't. I don't think it ever came to me. I was, that no one else had them. Because it said the young men would dream dreams. I mean, it said the young men would prophesy, old men would dream dreams. That's what's said in the scripture, right? So I never really looked at it that way, right? And I used things. People say things, and I'd have effect on people certain kind of ways, and I would say things, blurt out things, but I never saw any of this, And I looked at the angel, when I was about 6 years old. I remember reading it one day. I was sitting there. We had the old living in Newark, right? Had an old wooden stove, right? Still had those things, right? I remember it was in the living room, because they had the little flats, straight through. I forget they call them flats, I guess, right? On Waverly Avenue. I think it was 276 Waverly Avenue. I think it was the address, right? Off of Belmont Avenue. And I remember I was about 6 years old. And I remember reading it. I was always a good reader. Everybody thought I was some kind of genius when I was a child, because like I said, I'm a genius at solving puzzles. I was always excellent. I ran into puzzles. I loved some puzzles. I looked at it, and I kind of like tears came in my eyes. When I was 6 years old, I said, maybe 7. Probably 7, close to 7. I'm not going to say. I can't say for sure. I don't remember. I do remember reading it though. And I just so dragged the story. It struck me. It struck me. I had a feeling about it. And I never looked at it anymore. I never looked at the angel anymore. Right? I remember Elijah Muhammad talking about it. And I remember when he was talking about chapter 20, I knew something was wrong with that one because I knew my history. And I could see that chapter 20 seemed more like Dark Ages, but I didn't put it together. And I said, I couldn't figure other parts. Especially I was looking at a King James Version, so, it had, and I didn't know Christ meant Messiah. So I'm thinking, well, this might be a Christian thing. But it just didn't, but I knew something was wrong. I knew that just seemed like it was something in the past. So I had a bad feeling about that one. But I didn't go any deeper with it. Like I said, 1989, Easter Day, I went over to my wife's house in Irvington, and she went upstairs. I stayed in the car. I was flipping through channels, and this guy was talking about Revelation. Okay. He was reading it, just reading it, reciting it or whatever. He was just reading the book. He wasn't just perfect, just reading it. And he hit me. I said, I think I can figure that out. It hit me like that, right? And that's when I started. I started studying it. And I had a lot of headaches at first with that King James Version because that stuff just didn't fit. Right? And then I was walking down the street one day. I was a contractor. I was working up in I had a contract at AT&T, right? And because they was doing the vestiture, they was breaking the AT&T up, so I was part of that process, helping it, IT, computers. I was helping that process to do that, right? So I'm very good with figuring things out, and that and writing that, writing code and kind of stuff. That takes that kind of same type of quality, right? And I'm walking to this devil. He's standing beside the street, right? He's a Jehovah's Witness. He's talking about he saw me. Hey, he's waving his book. So I usually just ignore those people, right? So I go over there and see what he's got. So he's got this transliteral version of the Bible. I'd never seen translate. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Right? So he gives it for free. I take it back home, and I realize what it is. All of a sudden, some stuff falling into place, because that James Jehovah's Witness, you never get anywhere. I mean, with the King, you never get anywhere with that one, because it's messed up stuff and stuff that's very important, like a pale horse. It's greenish yellow, and the fact that it's greenish yellow is hyphenated, that's very important. But you say pale, because that was messing me up, that pale horse stuff. I just couldn't make any sense of it, because it was throwing a lot of stuff off. Once I got that, right, and then another piece fell into place, right? Because I got that, but I didn't realize there was a key, right? And so I had a library in my house, and I went to my library and I picked this book, and the book opened up, and I opened the book and I saw a scorpion. Scorpion's got like 6 legs on one side and 6 legs on the other side or whatever. And I got a visual of the key. And I looked at that, had to put the line and all stuff together, bam. The rest is history. Right? Now I started right? By 1990, I had broken the seals. So I hadn't broken it yet. By 1999, I had broken the seals. I figured it's broken seals. Now, I thought that was it. Once I broke the seals, and I didn't realize that was just beginning. That was the beginning of my headaches. I mean, I saw one big headache, and it opened doors to another big headache. Because now I got once I broke the seals, right? Now I got the key. Now I got to go in. I got a whole Bible. I got to open the doors to, all that stuff in there, and all this parables and stories, and that's not, forget about just understanding what the angel's saying itself. And it's been a 30-year journey. It's been a hard journey. See? I didn't know what I was getting to. I get back into it. If I knew what I was getting to begin with, I don't know. I love my people, and I'll do anything with my people, but boy, I didn't have no idea what I was going to go through. Had no idea. And sometimes it's best that way because, it's just like, jumping in the water. If you stick your toe in, you probably won't jump in. But just jump in, right? It's best. So they threw me in. See? That's the way they set up the scientists, and that's from Muhammad. They threw me in. Because I tested was my toes. I'm not sure. I have to be truthful. Because you have no idea what it took to break those seals and to get to where I'm at right now, to where I can explain this stuff to you. It was not easy. And there's still so much out there I can talk to you about. And there's still a lot of the Bible I haven't got to yet. Because I had to make a choice. Am I going to stop studying and talk to you or keep on studying? Because we run out of time here. So I spend most of my time passing on knowledge. Because, I mean, what's the point of keep studying and not getting information out? I mean, that's like hiding your light under a bush or something, isn't it? That's how it happened, brothers and sisters. That's how it happened. As I said, look, he was slain from the foundation of the earth. See? That's what it took. So the point I'm trying to make here is, this is a powerful book. And you're powerful people, those that are studying, because you're going to be the only lights that's going to be walking around here. You're the only beacons in a few more days. And they will come to you. You think I can do it by myself? If that was the case, then why did Jesus have disciples? I can't do this by myself. See? You have the light. See, you light up one candle, and then that candle takes that light and light up other candles. See? And some of you are going to shine very bright. See? Like I said, I'm laying the foundation, but the future is yours. You're the ones going to build the kingdom. You're the youth. My job is to get you home. I'm working day and night to do that. My wife telling me I should slow down. She keeps telling me, you need to take a break and you need to slow down, because I'm kind of like missing a few steps here and there lately. I would look for something the other day, it was right in front of my face. I looked for a whole hour, it was right in front of my face. I was so busy, so locked into a thought. When I was trying to put that one together, I put the other day about the demons, I got so locked into that. Right? I was looking, so I just, when I find it, and it was right there in front of my face, and I found out I was real upset with myself. See, it's not seeing I'm just so focused on trying to get this information out, because that's where we are, brothers and sisters. Because when this thing jump off, there's not going to be a time to studying. Like it says, you ain't got time to go back and get your baby, anything. When this jump off, time unprecedented trouble. Children are going to be great-headed. What you think how you think a child, what do you think would happen to a child if he's scared to go home because he's scared his parents are going to eat him? He can't go to the store and buy anything because there's no food in the stores. He can't be out on the street by himself, because if he's out on the street, right, with anybody, they're going to eat him. How much stress can a child take? Wouldn't that make you gray-headed? They have no way to defend themselves. They can't go to sleep. They can't go home. And they can't be out in the streets. Wouldn't that make you gray-headed? See? You don't have to tell you specifics. To tell you if it's going to make children gray-headed, that tells you the kind of time it's going to be. Men's hearts filled with fear of things they see coming. Fear of anticipation. They have heart attacks because of anticipation. Which thing's going to happen when the events actually hit here, when it hits the shores of America? If they have heart attacks because of anticipation of things coming to America, what's going to happen when the goat gets here? That's trying to give you a feel for what we're about to happen, brothers and sisters. But the good news is, those that with the angel stand with Suma, you have nothing to fear. You will not hear the faintest sounds of raising one that has the promise given to you. You will have nothing to fear. You'll be snatched out of it. But you will, well, you will be your faith will be tested in that sense. Because when you be snatched out, see, you be snatched out when the lions are surrounding you and they're all around you and they're about to stretch out their fangs and paws, right? And that's you snatched out. And that's when you have faith that's not going to happen to you, because it's not going to happen. That's where your faith comes in. But whether you have faith or not, you're still going to snatch it out. Only thing is, you're going to be a little nervous if you don't have the faith that you need to have, because you're going. Master from Muhammad is going to deliver you at time of unprecedented trouble. If you're in that book, you're going to be delivered. But you're going to be delivered in a time of unprecedented trouble. That means it's going to be, this fire is going to be raging all around. You're going to be in the house, and the house is burning up. And the room you're in is on fire, right? And fire's all around you, right? And your clothes is on fire. And then you snatched out. It's going to be, look at it like that. When you think there's all hope and lost. And that's a vision I had that used to bother me when I was young. Because I saw that it got very dark. Now, I've never shared this particular vision I'm going to tell you right now with anyone. It was very dark. And everyone was looking at me like it was under attack. Everybody was totally under attack. I mean, enemies was closing on us. And it was totally dark. And they was looking at me, you know, what's going to happen? What's happened? They was afraid. But they was, you know, they was listening to me. And I was telling them, don't be afraid, we're going to be delivered. See? And I was just going on my faith. Because Master Muhammad hasn't told me anything specifically. I never talked to him. I'm not going to be lying like Farrakhan. I never talked to him. Right? See, he never communicated with me that I know of. I mean, I've had some situations I thought that when his scientist was standing by protecting me, but I never talked to him directly. I'm going off the angel. I'm going to my knowledge of pressure. And I believe in 100%. And so I was telling people, don't worry. They're closing in though, man. They're about to kill us. I mean, they're seconds away. See? And it was like, they was closing in, they was about to pounce, and the bullets was coming and everything else, and suddenly the sky opened up, and there was the God pulled us out. I never shared that with anyone, because it always made me nervous. I'm not so nervous now. See, well, I'm not nervous at all, but still in awe, right? That's the last act of faith that you'll ever have to show, brothers and sisters. So it'll be a time of Jacob's trouble, but he'll be delivered out of it. It'll be a time of unprecedented trouble, delivered out of it. So it's going to come to that, brothers and sisters. But for your stand, the only difference is you're going to be delivered. Unless you break faith and run with the enemy. If your faith breaks, if it breaks like that, you get so scared, because it's going to be like that. It's going to be very intense. Then you're the lost. But if you hold on, some of you are going to be holding on. Some of you are going to be holding on, gritting your teeth. See? So some of you probably have teeth all grounded down to dust, because it's going to be that intense. But Master Prophet Muhammad will deliver us. So I don't want you to think that it's not going to be under intense situations. It tells you it's going to be a time of unprecedented trouble when you deliver it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm getting you prepared. It's my job to prepare you. So you know in advance. Because everybody was depending on me. They was having faith in me. And that's the part I didn't like. Because I don't like. That's the part I didn't like. See? For all kinds of reasons, I ain't like that. See? Because in the vision, now like I said, I had a long time ago. See? A thought came to my mind that what if he doesn't deliver us? Oh man, I've heard all these people. See? But I said it was a long time ago before I got knowledge of angel. And I have knowledge of angel, that thought is gone. But I didn't have the knowledge, and I had that vision, right? And I was holding my breath, right? Because I had led these people, right? And now we was under attack, and these people depend on me to be delivered. And I didn't have the power to deliver them. That's what bothered me. I didn't have the power to deliver them. I was depending on someone else. And before you understand the angel, you have a vision like that there, that makes you nervous. That made me very nervous. That's why I never told anybody before now. That vision made me very, very nervous. But now that I know the angel, I don't have those worries anymore. Because I know Master Muhammad is going to deliver us. Remember, this is before I knew about UFOs and all that kind of stuff. This is before I knew about Elijah Muhammad. No Islam, anything. I had that vision. So over the years, as I learned by Elijah Muhammad, learned by Master Muhammad, all those other things, see, I had no knowledge. All I knew is I was leading my people into a situation that was going to be very dramatic and very climatic, very dangerous, right? Their destruction is imminent, and they was depending on me to get them out of it, and I had no power to get them out of it, and I was depending on someone else that had no idea who they were or what. That's where I received the vision before I knew anything about any of this, about Elijah Muhammad, about Islam, anything. See? So all the years from then to now, been firm my heart up and firm my mind up to fill in, right, what I need to fit. In other words, to strengthen my faith. See, to turn that faith into knowledge. But back then, that's why I never shared it back then. It really scared me. I didn't know what that meant. So I just shared something with you, brothers and sisters. Okay, hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.